Good evening and welcome inside R.A. Fagnall Hall for this non-conference basketball matchup. The Elmhurst College Blue Jays will take on the high-flying athletic Adrian College Bulldogs. They travel here to R.A. Fagnall Hall for the second ever meeting between the two teams. I'm Luke Tanaka. Delighted to have you alongside for this edition of Elmhurst College men's basketball as the starters are getting introduced in the background. The starters for the Bulldogs. Number 1, Christian Coville is averaging 20.5 points a game. The transfer from Siena Heights in his first season with the Bulldogs has been the key cog to the offense, along with number 3, Devontae Harris, a 6-foot junior guard who saw no varsity action last season. Instead, now 17.3 points per game. Number 4, Jordan Denham, also in the starting lineup. He's a 6-foot guard. Vincent Bryant, number 24, averaging 5.7 points per game, a 6'2 junior guard. And Isaiah Crowford, a freshman, 6'6 forward. As the Elmhurst College Blue Jays are getting introduced, Pat Coleman, the point guard for the Blue Jays, 9.6 points per game, along with 12 assists on the season. He starts a 6'2 guard. 6'1 guard Kyle Weiss, leading scorer for the Blue Jays, 17.8 points per game. Bryant Ackerman, the wing player for the Blue Jays, only averaging 7.8 points per game after averaging over 10 last season. But it only takes a couple of games, it only takes maybe a couple of minutes for Bryant Ackerman to up that total, as he is a devastating three-point shooter. And when he finds his stroke, he is always tough to guard. Eric Crittenden at 12.4 points per game, a 6'7 senior forward. And rounding out the starting lineup for the Blue Jays, Will Nixon, the post player, 6'7 center from Plainfield, averaging 9 points and 7.2 rebounds per game. Adrian coming in a 5-1 record, won their first 5 games, and then had a loss, 3-point loss to North Park of the CCIW. Although Adrian has already defeated one team from the conference that Elmhurst plays in this season, that was Carthage. They won the Carthage Classic with a victory over the Redmen. The Blue Jays sitting at 4-1, defeated Alma from the MIAA as the tip is up, and Will Nixon wins it for the Blue Jays, who will be in the white heading from right to left in this first half. Pat Coleman at the top gets Weiss. You can tell how athletic this team is just based on how fast they're moving. Down low to Crittenden, who got caught under the basket. Weiss goes all the way in and draws the foul. First possession, Kyle Weiss really wanted that one to go, but could not do so. Jordan Denham, number 4, gets the first foul of the day. Kyle Weiss will head to the free throw line, over 90% on his free throws last season, now shooting 87% for the season in 2015-2016, and he drains the first point of the game. Weiss sporting a new haircut today. He's got the flat top going on. I don't know if that'll affect his shooting stroke. Kyle Weiss shooting 56% from the field this season. Really remarkable stuff from the senior guard as Weiss knocks down both free throws, and Adrian will have their first possession. They're in the black, heading from left to right. This is Devontae Harris at the top. He'll run the offense. Got a team leading 27 assists so far this season. Denham back to Harris. And here's the first shot of the day for Adrian, and it's good, a three-pointer by Devontae Harris. Harris shoots 43% from downtown on the season. He's 1 for 1 today, and it's a 3-2 Adrian lead. Pat Coleman in the Blue Jay white. Crittenden wants the ball, fakes a shot, and finds Nixon at the elbow. Hand off to Crittenden, trying to get into the lane. Left-handed layup is good by Eric Crittenden. 4-3. Elmhurst on top. Both teams scoring on their early possessions. This is Devontae Harris. Crowford's calling for it down low. He'll get it at the free throw line. Faces up Will Nixon, but kicks it out far side for 3. A little bit short by Harris, but the rebound is tracked down by Vincent Bryant. Have not seen Christian Coville, the 6'4 senior guard, leading the team with 20.5 points, even touch the ball so far. There's his first touch from the corner for 3, and he gets it. Coville with a 3, 2 threes for the Bulldogs, 2 twos on the other end for the Blue Jays, as a foul will be charged to Harris he bumped Pat Coleman on his way towards the bucket. First foul for Harris, second on the team. Both teams have scored on their first two possessions, with Adrian leading 6-4 in the early going. Top of the key, and Nixon looks to go down low, and Crittenden working on Bryant, and that's a size advantage as Crittenden gets it to go. And we're tied at 6. Big size advantage for the 6'7 senior forward from Elmhurst against Vincent Bryant, 6'2 junior guard, trying to play some defense on Crittenden. Coville all the way to the bucket, couldn't get it to go. Crowford with the offensive rebound and put back. Crowford gets it to go, 8-6. Elmhurst trailing, but Pat Coleman wants to change that, and he hits a three. Pat Coleman, his first bucket of the game. Neither team can play defense in the early goings. Every possession has led to a bucket. 9-8, Elmhurst on top. There's potentially a steal, and it is. Crowford lost it, and the Elmhurst bench gets on their feet for that steal as the first substitution of the game. Ken Henry comes in, and he's going to replace Vincent Bryant. And I believe Henry, 6'3", sophomore forward. One more inch, perhaps a little bit more weight on Vincent Bryant. He's going to have to guard Eric Crittenden. That's going to be really tough for him to do. Crittenden, 6'7", and a prolific scorer for the Blue Jays. Coleman all the way to the basket, right-handed layup off the glass. 3 minutes in, 11-8, Blue Jays on top. Dribbling on the wing, Devontae Harris wants a clear out, and will get so. Here's Denham on the near side. Bounce pass inside of the elbow to Crowford. Another nice bounce pass to Henry. Looks to get to the basket. Offensive foul. Waited for the call. Bryant Ackerman takes the charge. And it was an elbow, they say, on Henry as he tried to get into the lane. And looks like there's some talking between the coach, Mark White of Adrian, along with Ken Henry, and I believe the referee signaled that the foul was on Coville, but it was not Coville. It was indeed Ken Henry, and coaching staff just wanted to make sure that their leading scorer didn't pick up a foul he shouldn't have. Elmer shooting at the left basket with Weiss to the far wing. Here's Crittenden now down to the to the corner, and Coleman trying to work on Henry. Brian Ackerman trying to get him going with his threes, has such a smooth stroke. With 8 to go in the shot clock, is going to be a foul on a hold. Crowford trying to grab Nixon. Ricky Jackson Jr. back in now for the first time for Adrian. First foul there was charged to Crowford as he grabbed Nixon. Down low to Crittenden, working on Coville, puts it up way short on an air ball, and it'll be out of bounds to Adrian. Bulldogs 5-1 on the season. They lost to North Park 73-70 in their last time out. Before that, victories over Carthage, Allegheny, Fredonia, and Siena Heights. The Siena Heights game may have had a little bit more meaning for Christian Coville, as it was against his former team. Coville, a transfer from Siena Heights, playing his first season with the Bulldogs. Coville on the floor right now, but it's Devontae Harris controlling the ball for the first 20 seconds of the shot clock. Double team now finds Coville, who's open for three, and misses it short. Crittenden grabs a long rebound. 11-8, Elmhurst on top. 4 minutes, 15 seconds into the game. Pat Coleman waving away, trying to look for an isolation. Now gets the pick by Nixon, and it's a switch. Nixon and Coville now. They switch back, and the pass is arid from Ackerman to Crittenden, and it'll be a turnover. Ball back to Adrian. Another sub. Ben Rodak is in for Adrian, as Elmhurst has not subbed yet. Adrian, a whole bunch of subs on the floor. In fact, 3 of them. Jackson, Rodak, and Henry, all subs. Fans starting to file in here at R.A. Fagino Hall. Pretty good crowd on hand A little bit more than on Sunday, which was still technically the break, as Coville spins into the lane. Now they'll pass out for Ricky Jackson Jr. Little bit short off the rim. Ball tipped up by Coville, but it's brought down by Crittenden. Eric Crittenden wants to go all the way to the bucket himself. Lays it up, no good. Tried to fight for his own rebound, but it was up to Jackson who got it. Here's Devontae Harris. Taking his time with the ball. Gives it to Coville, who wants to drive, but got cut off by Nixon. Back out to Harris on the wing with 14. Now finds Henry, couple of steps. Nixon with the big block. Had his hands up, but Nixon is down on the backcourt. Pat Coleman's going to go anyway all the way to the bucket. Couldn't get it to go. Nixon is up slowly. I think he might have got hit in the face. Now he has to play 2-on-1 defense. It gets another block. No, it's a foul. Everybody got pumped up as Nixon just hung out on the defensive side because it looked like he poked in the left eye. And it'll be a first foul on Nixon, the first team foul. Still 11-8 as the teams have gone cold after a scorching start. And Coville, who was the recipient of the pass on the breakaway, will go to the line for two. Coville, 6'4", senior guard from Westland, the transfer from Siena Heights. Knocks down the first one. As now here comes a whole bunch of subs for the Blue Jays. Eric Leonard, Kenny Payonk, Brandon Schwebke, Peyton Wyatt all back in. Coville now has 4 points, looking for his 5th on the rebound. Kyle Weiss, the only starter that will remain on the floor for Elmhurst. Coville knocks it down. 5 points for him for a game high, tied with Pat Coleman of the Blue Jays. And all sorts of second unit players on the floor for Adrian as well. Eric Leonard will bring the ball up the floor. He replaced Pat Coleman. Weiss wants to help him out and does, guarded by Ken Henry. Kenny Payonk has a size advantage on Rodak. They'll try to screen with him. Adrian stays. Here is Leonard. Finds Wyatt down low to Payonk. Good matchup for him. Wyatt a long three, and he got it. Peyton Wyatt from way downtown. 14-10 Elmhurst. 13:35 to go, first half. Benson Bryant back into the game, one of the starters. Here's Harris. Now Ken Henry, one dribble, pulls up, looking for Rodak down low. Instead finds Jackson Jr. Nice pump fake to get Payonk in the air, but he lost it to Wyatt. Wyatt, if he looked up, could have seen Eric Leonard streaking down the other side. Didn't find him. Instead, Elmhurst will set up the offense with Weiss in the corner. Back down low to Schwebke, who is fouled. Down low. Looked like somebody had an arm bar in there. And it's going to be Rodak. It's his first foul and the 5th team foul. And looks like we're going to get a timeout. Our first on the floor, and it looks like a full timeout as well. Elmhurst calls their first timeout. It is a full timeout, and I'll give you a chance to look at the D3Hoops.com poll, where Elmhurst sits at number 8 right now, despite their loss to Benedictine, who went from unranked to number 12 in the poll after defeating Illinois Wesleyan, Wheaton, and Elmhurst, all CCIW squads in consecutive games. Our score here, 14-10 with 13:09 to go in the first half. Last season, Adrian 8-17, 6-8 in the conference. Started their season by playing an exhibition at the Carrier Dome against Syracuse, where currently Wisconsin and the University of Wisconsin and Syracuse are playing. That's where the Adrian College Bulldogs were playing last season in exhibition. This season they played Division I Oakland and got beat pretty bad in a obvious Division I against a Division I school. But that perhaps that loss propelled them to a 4-0 start, as they now are 5-1. A 5-0 start. As Elmhurst will inbound the ball on the left baseline. All second unit players for the Blue Jays, as Wyatt gets the ball quickly off the inbound. As Weiss and Harlan switch places. Kyle Weiss, the first time we've seen him out of the game so far today. Brandon Schwebke at the top of the key. Dribbling, but the clear out meant there was nobody there to help him out. Here's Wyatt. Harlan on the wing, dribbles in, now out to Eric Leonard, who dribbles in himself, looks to take a floater and gets it to go. Eric Leonard's first points of the game, 16-10, Elmhurst on top. Bounce pass to Coville, averaging 20.5 points per game. He has 5 points already, and it's 12:30 to go here in the first half. New player on the floor, that's Trevon Jackson. As this is a three from the near wing. It's off the mark. Shot by Denham, and the rebound by Wyatt. Clear out to Leonard, who will skip pass back to Wyatt. Now they go down low to Schwebke, working on Rodak, trying to break him down. Tries to face up, instead kicks out. Payonk, low block, baseline J. He's got it. Kenny Payonk, his first 2 points. 6 Elmhurst players in the scorebook, counting for 18 points and an 8-point lead. Under 12 to play first half. For Adrian on the baseline, Coville, jump stop, tough shot against Payonk. Good defense by the Elmhurst forward, and Wyatt's out and running with the Blue Jays. Coville goes for the steal, which means Payonk has an open lane, but decided to kick it out instead. Circling Tucker Harlan. Here's Schwebke. He's open, but opts not to take it. Instead, drives baseline, kicks out for Leonard, who's open for three. Yes! Eric Leonard for three. 5 points on 2 possessions, and an 11-point Elmhurst lead. Adrian calls timeout. Blue Jays come out to greet the second unit, which has done so well, and is a full timeout for Adrian. This second unit has extended the lead for the Blue Jays. And it is an 11-0 run for Elmhurst. Make that a 12-0 run for the Blue Jays. Very impressive stuff from Elmhurst as Adrian calls his first timeout. Adrian, coached by Mark White. He was a very successful high school coach in Detroit. Adrian just an hour and a half southwest of Detroit in southeastern Michigan. As a high school coach, Mark White went 201-42 while splitting time at Renaissance and Southeastern high schools in Detroit. And he was a 2-time state champ as a coach at Renaissance. In 04 and 06 is when he won those titles. Now he's been at Adrian, this is his 7th season now with the Bulldogs. And his best seasons came 2011, 2012, and 2012, 2013. 2012, 2013, an 18-8 record, 7-7 in conference. 18 wins was the most wins since the 54-55 season for the Adrian College Bulldogs. On the floor for Elmhurst, Eric Leonard, Peyton Wyatt, Kenny Payonk, Tucker Harlan, and Brandon Schwebke. For Adrian, Devontae Harris, Jordan Denham, Isaiah Crowford, Christian Coville, and Ken Henry. Henry in perhaps to add some more physicality for a Adrian team that's going to need some down low to go against these Elmhurst forwards. It's a tough matchup for them. Devontae Harris now on the wing, guarded by Leonard. Coville fakes the shot, steps in, takes a two-pointer that misses, and the rebound is Brandon Schwebke's. Harlan will bring the ball up the floor. Schwebke holding the ball high as he always does. Hands off back to Harlan. Now Peyton Wyatt driving into the lane. Back out for Schwebke for three. Brandon Schwebke puts it in. 15-0 Elmhurst run. 10:20 to go. Blue Jays lead by 14. Defense for the Blue Jays has been spectacular. All guarded shots except for this one by Harris, and he knocks it down. Devontae Harris has hit 2 threes. He's got 6 points. Adrian able to find the open shot on the skip pass, and their first points in a while. Kenny Payonk is open for 3, and he misses a little bit short, but Peyton Wyatt got the rebound. Hustle rebound by Peyton Wyatt. Well done. Now he is open, but he decides to pump fake instead of take the 3. Switching it to Leonard on the near wing. Now Wyatt now will take the 3 far side, this time a little bit short. And the rebound for Coville, who has 8.7 rebounds per game as a 6'4 guard. All 5 starters will check in for Elmhurst at the next dead ball. As Denham sets up the offense for Adrian. Crowford at the elbow trying to drive on Payon. Kicks out for Coville, who rises and misses short and to the right. Rebound for Eric Leonard. 24-13 Elmhurst on top with 9 minutes to go here in the first half. Leonard holding at the top in between the circles. Making signals to the offense. Now 10 to shoot. Leonard picked up his dribble, found Payonk, who gives it back. 7 on the shot clock for Harlan on the near side. Needs to find a shooter. Leonard way downtown for 3 and way off the mark. And the rebound to Coville once again. Here's Jordan Denham between the circles. Denham, a 6-foot senior guard, as an arm bar down low. And it's going to be the first foul on Kenny Payon. And make that actually Brandon Schwebke. And now all 5 Blue Jays will check out. Brian Ackerman, Will Nixon, Eric Crittenden, Pat Coleman, and Kyle Wiest are back in for the Blue Jays. 5 starters, all on the floor, all seniors. And it's a heavy senior class for the Blue Jays. For Adrian, Anton Horton, Ben Rodak, and Trevon Johnson all back in. Lots of subs coming into that last whistle. Harris is open on the near side, and he hits it. Devontae Harris has hit 3 threes for 9 points, and he pulls Adrian back with an 8, 24-16 with 8 minutes to go here in the first half. Crittenden has a nice size advantage on whoever's guarding him down low. Crittenden wants to drive on Denham, but did not. Now it's Ackerman into the lane, and no shot on the floor. The foul is on number 11, Trevon Johnson, as now we got 2 more substitutions. Armand Harp and Ricky Jackson Jr. back in for Adrian, subbing a whole lot of players often. 6-team foul, and the first on Johnson. And now Brian Ackerman will be charged for an offensive foul on the inbound. That'll be the first foul on Ackerman, and the team's 3rd for the Blue Jays. Adrian will inbound on the left baseline, and they'll bring it out from left to right. Handling the ball now, Ricky Jackson Jr. First time we've seen him have that duty, instead of Devontae Harris, who is camping out in the corner. Harris has it stolen by Coleman, and he's fouled. Really, you could charge that turnover to Anton Horton. Let's see if he gets the foul, too. No, it's going to be Harris who gets his 2nd foul. And that is 7 team fouls, which means Pat Coleman gets to go to the line. And that hustle will get him to free throw attempts. Crowford's back in for Adrian, as they can't spend too much time without him on the floor. 1 and 1 for Coleman. First one good. Coleman has 6 points. Isaiah Crowford is 6'6". He's the tallest man on this roster for Adrian, at least in the regular rotation, as Coleman hits the 2nd one as well. Next tallest would be Logan Merrick, who we have not seen yet today, the junior center. He's 6'5", and listed as a center. So Crowford is really the guy that has to guard Will Nixon down low, the 6'7" postman for the Blue Jays. This is Armand Happ at the top of the key. Jackson Jr. had Coleman strip him slightly, but still kept possession. Crowford spinning into the lane, and he gets 1 to go. 2 more points for Crowford. Elmhurst leads 26-18 with 7 minutes to go here in the first half. Blue Jays with the basketball at the left basket. Here's Wiest from the corner for 3, and he gets it. Kyle Wiest for 3. Blue Jays have been hot from beyond the arc today. Lead back up to 11 for the Blue Jays. Ricky Jackson Jr. goes behind his back, looking to drive on Weiss. Spin move, kicks out for Harris, who's wide open. This time Harris misses from downtown, and Weiss pulls down the rebound. Kyle Weiss skip pass is picked off by a skying Devontae Harris. He tries to go all the way to the bucket. Crittenden was there. Elmhurst looking for the charge, and I'm sure Adrian looking for a foul on Crittenden, but Harris now has 11 points as Coleman goes all the way to the bucket and gets fouled on the other end. Frantic pace, 6:18 to go, 29-20. Elmhurst on top as Coleman just went straight to the basket. Gonna be the first foul on number 32, Armand Harp, the 6-foot guard from Sun Valley, I should say, Arizona. As Coleman goes to the line and knocks down the first one. He's got 8 points. That's an Elmhurst lead. Christian Coville comes back in, the leading scorer for Adrian on the season. Today it's Devontae Harris with 11 through under 14 minutes of action. Harris averages 17.3 points per game as Coleman knocks down the second free throw. This time it will be Devontae Harris to bring it up for Adrian in the black with gold stripes down the side. Pump fake by Crowford, wants to work on Nixon, instead kicks out for Rodak. Takes a three, off back iron, and Crowford's got the offensive board. Tries to go back in, kicks out for Jackson this time, and he hits a three. Ricky Jackson Jr.'s first points of the game. And he's got 3 of them. Weiss open, top of the key for 3, and he gets it. Kyle Weiss again for 3. 8 points for Weiss. 34-23, Elmhurst on top. 5:30 to go first half. Bounce pass to the elbow, and Crowford, who had to try to kick it out, but Coleman had a quick hand in there, and Crittenden ended up with the ball. Now the big Elmhurst forward will bring it up, and he signals for somebody to come get the ball, and it's Brian Ackerman. Crittenden on the far wing in between the circles, Weiss, and now Ackerman will circle the floor. A bump by Jackson Jr. on the floor as Crittenden tried to get himself into the lane. And for Jackson Jr., it'll be his first foul. 9th team foul means 1-1 for Crittenden. Eric Crittenden, the 6'7" senior from Crete, Illinois, a Marian Catholic. Season high 17 points against Westminster as he knocks down his 3rd point of the day on the first free throw. Season high of 24 against Greenville last season. Very first game of the season. Burst onto the scene, really, as he knocks down another free throw for 4 points on the day. He was named the CCIW Player of the Week after that performance against Greenville. 24 points in the CCIW SLIAC Challenge. Hadn't averaged much before that. Now he's one of the top scorers on the Blue Jays. Devontae Harris trying to get in the lane. Nixon got a hand in there. Putback is no good by Coville. And the outlet pass goes to Pat Coleman. Trying to go all the way to the bucket, hands off Weiss, and they'll kick out to Ackerman, who passes up the 3. Instead, it's Coleman near wing, who's short, and Crittenden knocks it out. Coleman saves it back into the front court, but it's picked off by Crowford. And now Coville will hand off to Rodak in between the circles. Under 4:30 to play, Elmhurst a game-high 13-point lead, 36-23. Rodak bounce pass to Crowford at the free throw line, wants to go to work, passes out to Coville. Crowford to the basket, and he gets it to go over the swinging arm of Eric Crittenden. 6 points for Isaiah Crowford. 4 minutes to go, 11-point Elmhurst lead. Pat Coleman between the circles. Well, tries to get it down low to Nixon, but it's picked off by Crowford. Nixon really wasn't all that open. Perhaps not the best decision Pat Coleman has made so far today. Now Rodak, a deep 3 off the mark. Rodak, 33% for three-point range this season. Eric Crittenden pulled down the rebound, but Rodak's 0 of 2 today. Weiss for 3, far wing, and he gets it again. Kyle Weiss has 11 threes, has made all 3 of his last attempts from downtown. And with 3:20 to go, Elmhurst's lead is up to 14, 39-25. Hands by Weiss, but the pass got all the way to Jackson Jr. anyway, and then the foul will be called on Weiss, his first. Only the 4th team foul on Elmhurst with 3:13 to go in the first half. All sorts of subs coming in. A fresh 5 for the Blue Jays. Leonard, Wyatt, Schwebke, Payonk, and Harlan. Let's reset the floor for you for Adrian. It's Jordan Denham, Ben Rodak, Ken Henry. A little bit of confusion as Trevon Jackson stays in. Johnson, excuse me, I should say. And Vincent Bryant also seeing action on the floor for Adrian right now. Clock running again between the circles. It's Denham. Rodak on the near wing where he just missed a 3. Trying to drive all the way to the basket. There's going to be a foul. No shot. Kenny Payonk had position, but there's a reach on Brandon Schwebke, who always looks so guilty whenever he's charged for a foul. It's his. I believe that's his second. It said they say it was his first, but I thought I remember one other foul charged to him. But for now, we'll stick with it. He's got 2, but he's not being taken out. Rodak for 3 this time, far wing, and it's too strong, and the rebound skying for it, Schwebke, and he tipped it to Payonk. Nice job by Brandon Schwebke. Schwebke indeed does have 2 personal fouls, but he's still on the floor with those 2 with 2:30 to go here in the first half, and a 14-point Elmhurst lead. Eric Leonard down low to Schwebke, finds a nice pass to Wyatt, but the pass a little bit low, he couldn't get the shot off. Schwebke at the free throw line, hands off to Payonk, back out to Wyatt, who has 4 to shoot. Wyatt with 3 to shoot, puts up a 3 and gets it to go. With the shot clock winding down, Peyton Wyatt puts the Blue Jays up by 17, 42-25. 2 minutes to go. In between the circles, it's Denham. Pass to the far side, and Johnson. Payonk fell down in the lane, and the tip is put in by Vincent Bryant off the miss by Henry. First 2 points for Bryant in the game. Payonk's wide open, but Wyatt for 3 again. Elmhurst from downtown is just killing the Bulldogs. 45-27, Elmhurst on top. Johnson on the far side. Now it's Denham between the circles, and it's circled around to Bryant. 10 to shoot now for Bryant on the near wing, who steps in. Now pass out to Rodak, who's open for 3. Misses again. Rebound was initially with Henry, but Schwebke took it away. Elmhurst is shooting 69% from 3 in this game. Wyatt wants more. This time back iron as a deep sigh came from the crowd here at R.A. Faginal Hall. They wanted more as well. There's a foul on the rebound. That's 3 on Schwebke, so he will check out as Crittenden comes back in. Wiest wants to come back in as well, and he will for Tucker Harlan. Adrian on the floor still. Denham, Henry, Trevon Johnson, Ricky Jackson Jr. checks in, and Crowford as well back into the game for Adrian. Shooting at the right basket with 1 minute to play in the first half, trailing by 18 to Elmhurst. Blue Jays shooting 71% from downtown. Just remarkable what they've been able to do here in this half. Crowford, bounce, and the dribble pull up from Jackson is no good. Another rebound by Crittenden, and Leonard is fouled in the backcourt. It's going to be the 10th foul on Adrian, and it's going to be Ricky Jackson Jr.'s second. 2 players with 2 fouls for Adrian, Devontae Harris, and Ricky Jackson Jr. 40 seconds to play, and Eric Leonard will go to the line for 2. And he knocks down the first one. Pat Coleman back in. He replaces Peyton Wyatt, who was red hot from 3-point range. He did miss his last one, but Wyatt is 4 of 5 from downtown for 12 points. Leonard knocks down both free throws. He's got 7, and Elmhurst's lead now is 23 Scoreboard showing 47, but I believe they missed one of Wyatt's threes, which would make it 50-27 Elmhurst. Jackson for three, and he hits it from downtown. Ricky Jackson Jr. has 6 points. And we'll have a timeout for Elmhurst with the shot clock turned off. 14 seconds to go, and it'll be a 30-second timeout for the Blue Jays. The keys to the game from my perspective, I had to say Will Nixon, we wanted him to take control, especially, and really, with even if it's not Nixon, rebounding is so huge for this Elmhurst team. Rebounds 14-11 in favor of the Blue Jays. And the other thing was to find their identity on defense. That's their identity. I was talking to Brian Ackerman before the game. And he told me that this team really, their base is their defense. Although they love to score, and they do score in bunches, they want to play defense. And right now they're playing fantastic defense as the Bulldogs are shooting 35% from the floor. And then lots of scorers for the Blue Jays, and they have that for sure with 7 players in the scorebook right now. Kyle Wiest with 6 to shoot. Long three is no good, but Payonk got the tip on Wiest's air ball. And that will end the half as the long distance heave is no good. Elmhurst leading by a bunch as we head into halftime here at R.A. Faginal Hall. Let's check out some statistics from the first half, and just mentioned a couple on the defensive side, but the offensive side. Elmhurst has made 17 of their 25 baskets in this game, 68% from the field. They have exploded 10 of 10 from the free throw line and 11 of 16 from downtown, and just killing Adrian with that with those downtown baskets. Very well done by the Blue Jays here in the first half as they explode, and Elmhurst will head to the locker room with a substantial lead, 49-30. We'll be back with the second half in 15 minutes on Blue Jay TV.
Welcome to the cultural season at Elmhurst College. Elmhurst is a place of values and conviction. We were founded by 19th century reformers who believed in human potential, loved learning, and had standards. More than 140 years later, we still do. We still attract students and teachers who want to think for themselves and act on principles, who challenge and respect one another, who engage, serve, and celebrate our diverse, dynamic, interdependent world. A few years ago, to be clear about things, we wrote down our core values. This year, we asked some of our students what those values mean to them.
Elmhurst College is unique in so many ways.
Here we really do have values, and my professors know the values, and they push me to be those values.
Stewardship and faith and community and service, and it really does bring in kind of a level of just interaction with values that you never go up before.
But as you kind of develop yourself over the years, you start to realize these values mean so much more, and you start to uncover the true meaning behind them.
You begin to see equivalencies between your life and the school, and then you discover that you're not just in a place of learning, you're also in a place of growing, you're in a place of maturity and value, exactly that, core values.
Intellectual excellence means allowing our minds to grow in ways that we've never thought they could before. It means exploring those new pathways, seeing how we could do things different. It means stepping outside of our box of what we know and what we're comfortable with and taking those risks to really grow and make things better. I think that's really the core of what intellectual excellence is.
The professors set the standard of intellectual excellence, and that rubs off on the students, and I feel like that's rubbed off on me.
You really have to push yourself. So to know that's actually a value here is pretty important, because that's something I value on my own. So if my college values it as well, that means I really belong here.
To say that Elmhurst College values community, I think, is an understatement. I think Elmhurst College is community in so many ways.
Coming to Elmhurst College, a small college, it has to be about community.
It doesn't really matter who you are or where you've come from. Everyone here will just love you for who you are.
The fact that every individual and every unique person is allowed to be in an environment together and learn from each other and grow with each other.
Just the fact that it's smaller and that you form those one-on-one relationships, it encourages like creativity and questioning and all the things I wanted out of my college experience.
Social responsibility means caring for each individual as a person.
There are all these people, and they're all more important than my general happiness as a single person.
You're not only trying to better yourself, but I feel like it also means it's your job that you better your community too.
Knowing that there's something larger than yourself and that you can play a part in making someone else's life better.
Taking what I learned from my family, that others come before me, and translating that into the entire world.
It's really awesome to be in a place where not only are you worrying about academics, but it's also teaching me how to be a better person.
To me, stewardship is just being responsible, really thinking about your actions.
If I'm going to say that, I believe in this philanthropy, I think we should do this, I need to follow through with my actions.
What I found coming to Elmhurst is that there are lots of people that feel the same way. So it was easy to find a group of people who were so engaged in service and so willing to help.
Kind of made me reflect on, what do I value in life? Why am I here? They really did kind of push me to the next level and make me think about that, and I think that I'm a better person for it.
Values really help shape identity. If you really don't understand your values, you're not really understanding a part of who you are.
I was more sheltered until I came here, and Elmhurst has really kind of made me step out of my comfort zone and learn more about what I want to do and what I believe in.
Places like the chaplain's office and the Niebuhr Center for Faith and Action give me safe places where I can go to discuss my faith and to discuss my values with people that I know I trust and people that I know I can count on to influence me and to lead me in the right direction.
You can never be forced out of your faith or forced into a different kind of faith as long as you're at Elmhurst, that you really are given the ability to take your pick and always have encouragement from your peers, never shunned or excluded or pressured into something else. There's always a place for you.
If you believe you're here on this earth for a reason, that's going to affect the way you live your life. That's going to affect the way you treat your academics, the way you treat your social life, the way you look at your future and the goals that you have. Those things seem like really big things, but all of that boils down to the way you live your everyday life.
We value
intellectual excellence,
community,
social responsibility,
stewardship,
faith, meaning, and values.
Last year we had all of our girls leave except me and another girl, so we kind of got put into our captain positions. And it's not that I didn't want to do it, but I didn't know if I was ready to take that leadership role yet. But because I was thrown into it, I had to do it. So it helped me as a person and to help lead the dance team and be in control. I mean, it's difficult sometimes, no doubt about it. It's very stressful sometimes, but I probably, as much as I complain about it, I probably wouldn't change it for the world because it's making me who I am today.
I have had a great experience at Elmhurst. I'm obviously involved with the volleyball program, and it's been a really good experience for me. I would say we're pretty close because we practice 5 days a week for 2.5 hours. We're lifting, we're doing bonding things, and we're traveling on the weekends. So you're pretty much with these girls for 3 months every single day for hours. So we're all pretty close, and we rely on each other and ask each other for help.
Welcome to the cultural season at Elmhurst College. Elmhurst is a place of values and conviction. We were founded by 19th century reformers who believed in human potential, loved learning, and had standards. More than 140 years later, we still do. We still attract students and teachers who want to think for themselves and act on principles, who challenge and respect one another, who engage, serve, and celebrate our diverse, dynamic, interdependent world. A few years ago, to be clear about things, we wrote down our core values. This year, we asked some of our students what those values mean to them.
Elmhurst College is unique in so many ways.
Here we really do have values, and my professors know the values, and they push me to be those values.
Stewardship and faith and community and service, and it really does bring in kind of a level of just interaction with values that you never got before.
But as you kind of develop yourself over the years, you start to realize these values mean so much more, and you start to uncover the true meaning behind them.
You begin to see equivalencies between your life and the school, and then you discover that you're not just in a place of learning, you're also in a place of growing, you're in a place of maturity and value exactly that, core values.
Intellectual excellence means allowing our minds to grow in ways that we've never thought they could before. It means exploring those new pathways, seeing how we could do things different. It means stepping outside of our box of what we know and what we're comfortable with and taking those risks to really grow and make things better. I think that's really the core of what intellectual excellence is.
The professors set the standard of intellectual excellence, and that rubs off on the students, and I feel like that's rubbed off on me.
You really have to push yourself. So to know that's actually a value here is pretty important because that's something I value on my own. So if my college values it as well, that means I really belong here.
To say that Elmhurst College values community, I think, is an understatement. I think Elmhurst College is community in so many ways.
Coming to Elmhurst College, a small college, it has to be about community.
It doesn't really matter who you are or where you've come from. Everyone here will just love you for who you are.
The fact that every individual and every unique person is allowed to be in an environment together and learn from each other and grow with each other.
Just the fact that it's smaller and that you form those one-on-one relationships, it encourages like creativity and questioning and all the things I wanted out of my college experience.
Social responsibility means caring for each individual as a person.
There are all these people, and they're all more important than my general happiness as a single person.
You're not only trying to better yourself, but I feel like it also means it's your job that you better your community too.
Knowing that there's something larger than yourself and that you can play a part in making someone else's life better.
Taking what I learned from my family, that others come before me, and translating that into the entire world.
It's really awesome to be in a place where not only are you worrying about academics, but it's also teaching me how to be a better person.
To me, stewardship is just being responsible, really thinking about your actions.
If I'm going to say that, I believe in this philanthropy, I think we should do this, I need to follow through with my actions.
What I found coming to Elmhurst is that there are lots of people that feel the same way. So it was easy to find a group of people who were so engaged in service and so willing to help.
Kind of made me reflect on, what do I value in life? Why am I here? They really did kind of push me to the next level and make me think about that, and I think that I'm a better person for it.
Values really help shape identity. If you really don't understand your values, you're not really understanding a part of who you are.
I was more sheltered until I came here, and Elmhurst has really kind of made me step out of my comfort zone and learn more about what I want to do and what I believe in.
Places like the chaplain's office and the Niebuhr Center for Faith and Action give me safe places where I can go to discuss my faith and to discuss my values with people that I know, I trust, and people that I know I can count on to influence me and to lead me in the right direction.
You can never be forced out of your faith or forced into a different kind of faith as long as you're at Elmhurst, that you really are given the ability to take your pick and always have encouragement from your peers, never shunned or excluded or pressured into something else. There's always a place for you.
If you believe you're here on this earth for a reason, that's going to affect the way you live your life. That's going to affect the way you treat your academics, the way you treat your social life, the way you look at your future and the goals that you have. Those things seem like really big things, but all of that boils down to the way you live your everyday life.
We value
intellectual excellence,
community,
social responsibility,
stewardship,
faith, meaning, and values.
Last year we had all of our girls leave except me and another girl, so we kind of got put into our captain positions. And it's not that I didn't want to do it, but I didn't know if I was ready to take that leadership role yet. But because I was thrown into it, I had to do it. So it helped me as a person and to help lead the dance team and be in control. I mean, it's difficult sometimes, no doubt about it. It's very stressful sometimes, but I probably, as much as I complain about it, I probably wouldn't change it for the world because it's making me who I am today.
I have had a great experience at Elmhurst. I'm obviously involved with the volleyball program, and it's been a really good experience for me. I would say we're pretty close because we practice 5 days a week for 2.5 hours. We're lifting, we're doing bonding things, and we're traveling on the weekends. So you're pretty much with these girls for 3 months every single day for hours. So we're all pretty close, and we rely on each other and ask each other for help.
I've had a great experience at Elmhurst, I really have. I think that the college is all about making the individual well-rounded, and I do think that I have grown up a lot since I've been at college. I've played soccer and I'm in the nursing program, and I lived on campus for 2 years. It's been great, and I've made so many new friends, and there's just so much here to offer. I just love it.
I really like.
Good evening and welcome back inside our Fagettle Hall, where the Elmhurst College Blue Jays shut the lights out here in the first half. They lead Adrian 49-30. Here, as really it's their largest lead that they've had, at least here at home this season, after the close loss to Benedictine and then the close win against Alma. I'm Luke Tanaka. Delighted to have you alongside for this edition of Elmhurst College men's basketball. The Blue Jays shot 62% from the field in the first half, 60% from three-point range, and 10 of 10 from the free throw stripe. If that doesn't give you an indication, then the 49-30 score will. But you never count this Adrian team out. They're incredibly athletic, and their leading scorer, Christian Coville, only has 5 points. He averages 20.5 points per game, so you got to watch out for him here in this second half. As for Adrian, they shot 37% as the Elmhurst defense, something that they really put a name on. They really like to put their name on the defensive side of the ball, but it just hasn't been there so far this season, as they've allowed 78.6 points per game. Slightly skewed by the game against Greenville, who plays the Grinnell system, but either way, have that. That's a lot of points per game for Elmhurst to give up, but they are starting to perhaps come into their own on the defensive side of the floor in this one, giving up only 30 points in 20 minutes so far to Adrian. 2 of 2 from the free throw stripe are the Bulldogs. They've only been there on one occasion. And the three-point percentage, 6 of 16 from beyond the arc. That's 38%. Blue Jays out-rebounded the Bulldogs 15-12, and they had the lead for 18 minutes and 38 seconds after the Bulldogs and Blue Jays traded baskets in the early goings. On the floor for the Blue Jays, it's the typical starting five: Kyle Wiest, Pat Coleman, Will Nixon, Eric Crittenden, and Brian Ackerman. As for the Bulldogs, Ken Henry is starting this half. He did not start the game originally, as is Ricky Jackson Jr., who did not start originally either. Christian Coville's on the floor, this time down low to Isaiah Crowford, as he kicks out to Jackson Jr. for 3. Off the mark, off back iron rebound. Pulled down by Will Nixon. Devontae Harris is the 5th man on the floor for the Bulldogs to start this second half. 49-30 as the quick pass to Nixon goes through the hands of Pat Coleman at the back of the baseline. Almost looked like Coleman was a wide receiver looking for the back of the end zone to get those feet down. Looked down at his options before securing the basketball, and it's a turnover here in the early goings of the second half. Jackson Jr. finds Harris on the wing, guarded by Kyle Wiest, perhaps the best guard defender on this team. Wiest staying in front of Harris, bounce pass to Henry, who almost walked. He's double teamed by Crittenden and Nixon, and Crittenden blocked his pass, but Henry got it back. 5 to shoot, and out of bounds in favor of the Blue Jays. Adrian thought they were going to call a foul on the play. They did not walk back up the floor. Now they will, as looks like they're actually going to call a foul on that one, and I think they will call it on Henry. That is his 3rd. I believe that's his 2nd, actually, as Wiest tried for the lob for Crittenden and couldn't quite find it. Some of the Elmhurst students got up on their feet looking for that one, just couldn't quite find the lob, and so it'll be a turnover back to Adrian. Crowford, the spinning hook shot, lean away, no good, and Eric Crittenden rips down the rebound. Crittenden will bring the ball up himself. We've seen him do that a couple of times, but quickly finds Brian Ackerman in the front court. Wiest hanging out on the wing, guarded by Harris. Here's Crittenden, now out to Coleman, down low, Wiest. Layup is good. Nice motion by the Blue Jay offense there. Pat Coleman gets credit for the assist, but he had double assist. Eric Crittenden was right there too, helping to clear the floor for the cutting Kyle Wiest. Coville tries to go to work down low. Tough shot against Nixon, no good. And Pat Coleman has the outlet. Coleman wanted to find Ackerman, could not. Instead, it's Wiest from the far corner for 3, no good. And It's picked up by Jackson. 51-30, Elmhurst on top. At the free throw line, it's Crowford trying to go against Nixon. That's a really tough matchup for him, freshman against senior. And the senior wins the battle in Nixon. Somebody needs to help out Wiest, who lost his dribble. Brian Ackerman will get the ball. Was indeed 2 personal fouls on Ken Henry. Crittenden for 3. Yes, Eric Crittenden. He has 9 points. First three-pointer made of the season for Eric Crittenden. He's 1 of 3 from long range and gets a chest bump from Eric Leonard as he heads to the bench. A 30-second timeout taken by the Bulldogs. This Elmhurst team has just shot unbelievably well today. Their leading scorer is Kyle Wiest with 13. They also have 2 players with 9, Eric Crittenden and Pat Coleman. Eric Leonard has 7 points, and that is a season high. His season high previously was just 3 against Greenville, but he can score. He had 17 in the triple overtime win for Elmhurst last season against St. Norbert in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Not to mention also school county scoring records in high school when he went to Sangamon Valley High School. That thriller of a game against St. Norbert on the road last season in the NCAA tournament against the Green Knights. And it looks like somebody didn't check in for a sub. Ken Henry will come back into the game. Rodak wanted to come in, Rodak, but he was not able to apparently. Coville, quick inbound out to Ricky Jackson Jr., who's off the mark. Rebound by Crowford on the offensive boards. Here's a floater by Jackson Jr., and he gets it to go. There's one thing that the Blue Jays have not done well in this game. It's really defensive rebound. And they've gotten their fair share of defensive rebounds, but they've also given up 7 offensive rebounds by the Bulldogs. Elmhurst only has 1 offensive rebound so far in the game. Crittenden on the far wing, elbow to Nixon. Trying to face up. He takes a jumper from the wing, and he knocks it down. First points of the game for Will Nixon. That's probably not his game, but the elbow jumper, if Nixon can add that to his game, he's going to be a whole new kind of force down low for the Blue Jays, who now lead by 24. Here's Crowford from just inside the elbow, and we got a foul, and it looks like it's going to go against the Bulldogs. And I think they're going to call Coville for the foul, and they will. Yeah, it's his first foul as Peyton Wyatt will check back in. He replaces Kyle Wiest. 16:24 to go in the second half. Elmhurst leading by 24. Man, if you're the Blue Jays coming in, top 13 scorers are back. As Crittenden, a little bit of press in the backcourt. Crittenden and Coleman playing catch, trying to get back up the floor, and they will get it over the timeline with plenty of time to spare. He had a second round of the NCAA tournament last year to the Blue Jays, and you get to a point where Elmhurst has all 13 of their top scorers back. With 10 to shoot, it's Crittenden at the elbow, turns around and knocks it down. He's the second Blue Jay to reach double figures. He has 11, and the Elmhurst lead is up to 26, 58-32. But if you're the Blue Jays, as down low goes Coville, and Nixon with his 3rd block of the game. Will Nixon gets the crowd on its feet. Crittenden now down low, trying to back down to Rodak. He goes all the way in and he traveled. Elmhurst hoping for an and one. About 6 players on the Elmhurst bench jumped up, but the official said no, thank you. Fritz Larson, Jack Lyman, and Dale Brady are officiating crew today. The Blue Jays, after that second round visit to the NCAA tournament and ranked number 8 in the country. For some people who may be on the outside, as this shot is knocked down by Coville from the free throw line. He's got 7 points. These are the games you almost expect if you're an Elmhurst fan, but really, despite the lack of ranked teams on the schedule, this is not an easy schedule for the Blue Jays. The MIAA is a tough conference. They play 4 teams from the MIAA. They'll go to Dubuque after the MIAA tour that they're taking here against Adrian and Olivet, etc. As there's a blocking foul. 2 shots for Ackerman as he drove into the lane. Ackerman is not on the score sheet yet for the Blue Jays. It'll be Rodak in his second. Third team foul on the half. Brian Ackerman will head to the free throw line. 2 of 2 from the line this season, that's it. Usually Ackerman more aggressive than that, and he knocks down. He's still perfect on the season, 3 of 3, but surprising to see only 2 free throw attempts, now 3 on the season. These are the games, the blowouts with Elmhurst, as the second one is missed. First missed free throw of the game for the Blue Jays, as they lead by 25 here in the second half. Coville spinning into the lane. Kick out for Harris. A little bit short, and Nixon got fouled by Coville on the rebound. The Blue Jay fans might expect a couple more of these blowouts, but in all reality, that's just not how they've been playing so far this season. And perhaps this is the transition for them, as they have a couple of tough games on the defensive end of the floor. Ackerman needs some help in the backcourt, finds Coleman, and they pass through the press to Wyatt on the near side. Looking down low for Nixon, but couldn't find him. Nixon still calling for the ball. He wants it. He's matched up against Rodak, the 6'4" senior forward. Nixon at 6'7", and he's got some weight on Rodak as well. Here's Ackerman for 3. Air ball, way out, and he stepped out of bounds. Rodak looking for the foul on Wyatt, who fell into Jackson Jr. But they will not get it, and Elmhurst will have the basketball back. 59-34, Elmhurst on top with under 14.5 to play, as Crittenden will check out for Brandon Schwebke. But in college basketball, it really is never an easy game, and we've seen that at all the upsets at the Division I level. There's been some upsets at the Division III level as well, including Benedictine, unranked over Elmhurst. Benedictine definitely deserving of that number 12 ranking now after defeating a couple of tough teams from the CCIW. Here's Peyton Wyatt looking down low to Nixon. One dribble, leans in, and has a wild shot that is well off to the left. Quick outlet goes to Denham, who lost the ball on the way up. Rodak then loses it. Schwebke gets the steal. Down low to Nixon, who lost it, and Jackson Jr. will save it back to Devontae Harris. Under 14 to go, a little bit sloppy on the last couple of possessions. Still 59-34, Elmhurst on top. This shot from just inside the three-point line is no good by Harris, as Ackerman finds Nixon, trying to direct traffic. Hands off back to Ackerman between the circles. Down low to Schwebke against Rodak. Puts it up, no good. Nixon with the offensive rebound, gets position and puts it in. 4 points for Will Nixon. Elmhurst up by 27, their largest lead of the game, and a timeout will be called by Adrian. That is another instance where it may just be in a matchup, as we'll get a full timeout. Last season, we saw at North Park a pretty solid team in the CCIW take out a couple of really good teams in the conference, Augustana and Illinois Wesleyan, in a couple of games. But then come here to R.A. Fagnall Hall and get smoked by the Blue Jays by 40, 89-49. And that just might be the way the matchup works with the Bulldogs. Do not have a whole lot of size on the roster, or at least in the rotation. Their leading rebounder is a 6'4" guard. And their biggest man is a 6'6" freshman who is definitely talented and confident, but just doesn't quite have the skills yet to battle with a man like Will Nixon, the 6'7" senior, who has so much more college basketball experience, and you cannot understate that kind of experience. Elsewhere on the roster, 6'6" is the biggest man. There is another 6'6" freshman, but he has not played yet this season. Logan Merrick is 6'5", 250, but he doesn't play a whole lot of minutes either for Adrian, which really leaves it up to Isaiah Crowford to guard Will Nixon. And although he only has 4 points, Nixon has been very impressive on the glass so far today with 5 rebounds. And really, the place where you can exploit this team if you're Elmhurst is not really at the 5, but at the 4. As Adrian hardly ever plays 2 big guys on the floor. They almost always have 4 guards on the floor, which means Eric Crittenden, who has 11 points, I should say, and 7 rebounds, is matched up on a guard who is giving up at least 3 inches to him. Ball back in play. Adrian in the black, shooting at the left basket. Harris skip pass to Jackson Jr., who dribbles in, and his pass was a little too hot, intended for Vincent Bryant. Peyton Wyatt comes back up the floor. Blue Jays in the white with the blue down the stripes, down the sides, coming and shooting at the right basket. Second unit players on the floor for the Blue Jays: Wyatt, Schwebke, Payonk, Harlan, and Leonard. Skip pass to Leonard. Fans wanted the three, didn't take it. Here's Harlan for three. No good. Bench looked excited for that one too. Tucker Harlan has not scored a whole lot this season, averaging just 1.6 points. And it looks like we'll get a foul call. And it's going to be on Tucker Harlan. That'll be his first. First team foul of the half, and we're 7.5 minutes into the half. Jackson Jr. bounce pass to Crowford. And they'll get out to Bryant in between the circles with Harris. On the wing it is Vincent Bryant. Kicks out for Jackson, pump fakes the three, gets by Wyatt, now shoots a two from 12 feet, no good. Crowford, and it's going to be a foul actually over the back, it looks like, on Eric Leonard. Crowford skied for the rebound. Leonard tipped it towards Brandon Schwebke, but he went over the back of Crowford, and then it'll be Eric Leonard's first foul. 2 team fouls on the Blue Jays. 12-13 to go. Second half. Fresh 30 for Adrian. Dribbling into the lane, scooping up, no good. Battle for it on the floor, and Peyton Wyatt stripped it away from Trevon Johnson. Down low to Schwebke. Size matchup for him. Skips out Leonard. Now Wyatt's open for three. Near wing. No good. A little bit strong. And Elmhurst has cooled off a little bit in this half, but they still lead by 27. As this ball is blocked by Payonk, I believe. There were about 4 Elmhurst players guarding the driving Vincent Bryant. Armand Harp checks back in for Adrian. 11:40 to go, and the pass will go all the way to the backcourt. As Elmhurst leads 61-34. Jackson pump fakes. Finds Johnson, who leans into some contact. No foul, and a wild shot. Rebound to Schwebke. Eric Leonard dribbling with the stronger left hand towards in between the circles. Adrian backs off as Payonk has a give and go with Leonard. Schwebke pass to Payonk. Second notch of the free throw stripe. Gets it to go. Kenny Payonk has 6 points. Season high of 10 against both Curry and Westminster. On the near wing, that's Harris down low to Crowford. Battling against Payonk. Good defense by him, but better offense by Crowford, who has 8 points now. Isaiah Crowford, who struggled from the free throw stripe so far this season. He's averaging only 4 points per game, and it looks like a timeout will be taken by Elmhurst. They had just 2 more seconds to get the ball over the timeline, and just couldn't do so. As we'll get a timeout by Elmhurst, and it'll be a 30-second timeout. The Blue Jays starting to assert themselves, and really, when I talked to Brian Ackerman before the game, he said this team's identity is on the defensive end. That's where they want to be successful. As many points as they scored, 88.8 points per game, the number that they care about more is that 78.6 scoring defense, despite their 10-point scoring margin. That's the point. That's the number that they care about, and that's going to go down considerably with the Blue Jays leading 63-36 with 10:40 to go in the game here at R.A. Fagnall Hall. But if the Blue Jays are going to be successful come conference play, that is going to be the key. It's going to be their defense. He also mentioned that they haven't really been playing their best basketball, but this isn't the time when you want to play your best basketball. And he was quick. It's quick to notice how this team is really focused on March and on that NCAA tournament. This is the team. The seniors in the rotation: Wyatt, Leonard, Coleman, Wiest, Ackerman, Crittenden, Schwebke, Payonk, Jalen Loving, who is currently out with a practice injury sustained in practice, and Will Nixon. That's 10 seniors out of the really 11 that play on this team. So this is their year. This is perhaps the best year that John Baines will have. So this is the year that they want to win, and they want to win big. Not only are they hoping for conference success, they're hoping for national success. Kenny Payonk turnaround hook shot, no good. Ball tipped around again, some more, and Ackerman's got it, and he gets it out to Crittenden. What great hustle by Ackerman as Crittenden wanted the ball back quicker. He got it, he spun into the lane, no good. Payonk one-handed rebound, and it's going to be a foul as Kenny Payonk grabbed a rebound one-handed. And it is getting pumped up here at R.A. Fagnall Hall. Ken Henry is not happy with the call on the floor. And let's see who the foul is charged to. Maybe they're going to call it on Ken Henry. He was the one who was so upset. And he's going to stay on the floor. He's got 3 fouls. Elmhurst with a fresh 30 will inbound to Payonk in between the circles and hand off to Wyatt. It's about halfway through this second half. Blue Jays up 63-36, comfortably in the driver's seat here. Blocking foul charge down on the low block. That's Anton Horton's first foul. 6 team fouls on Adrian with 10:05 to go second half. Ball in high to Payonk on the low block. Kicks out to Crittenden for 3 off the mark. Ackerman got the rebound. He puts it up, got blocked by Horton. Now Crittenden ended up with it, and his short bunny in the paint is good. Eric Crittenden with 13 points. Elmhurst all over the offensive glass on that possession. They got 4 offensive rebounds on that possession alone. As the effort on the offensive rebounds is very impressive. An effort that was not there in the loss against Benedictine. And now the Blue Jays waking up here against the Adrian Bulldogs, really asserting themselves as the turnaround J is good by Jordan Denham. That's his first 2 points of the game. As the press is on for Adrian, Crittenden gets the ball, bounce pass to Ackerman in transition. Crittenden tries to go up for the dunk, and he gets hacked by Horton. It'll be his second foul in 2 possessions and his second on the game. Crittenden really wanted that dunk, but Horton was not going to let him go all the way there. And Crittenden will head to the line for 2. He's 20 of 24 on the season from the free throw line. That's 83%. Looking to become the Blue Jay leading scorer, but he misses the first one. Here comes Will Nixon, Pat Coleman, and Kyle Wiest replacing Eric Leonard, Kenny Payonk, and Peyton Wyatt for the Blue Jays. Crittenden, number 22 for this Elmhurst squad. 6th man last year, bursting onto the scene with 24 points in the first game of the season as he knocks down on his free throw. He now is the leader in the scorebook for the Blue Jays with 14 points. 66-38, Elmhurst on top with 9 minutes to go here in the second half. Left-handed drive there with the dribble by Harris. It's Coville who has really been shut down in this game compared to his season averages. He's reached double-figure points in every game this season, does not have it yet. Henry's wild layup is off the bottom of the rim. Now Coville gets blocked, either Crittenden or Nixon for the block there. Coleman's pass for Wiest was too high, but what a great tip to get it to Ackerman as he fell out of bounds. Now Crittenden's all alone down low, and he will go with the flush. What a beautiful pass by Bryant Ackerman to Eric Crittenden, who was all alone down low. All he had to do was flush it home. 8:30 to go. Blue Jays 68, Adrian 38. And it'll be 40 with the jumper good from just beyond the free throw line by Harris. He is the leading scorer for Adrian with 13. Crittenden almost lost it over the timeline. Saved it just in time, and Kyle Wiest will burn some clock. 8 minutes to go. Pat Coleman has it on the near wing. Now Ackerman skip pass to Wiest, who is wide open for 3 from the corner. No good. Ackerman with the tip. What an athletic play by Bryant Ackerman. Reached back for it with his right hand and just a nice little kiss off the glass. Ackerman has 3 points, and I've been wondering when Bryant Ackerman's going to get in that scorebook. He averages 7.8 per game this season. He averaged 10 per game last season, but really some great hustle plays and some great, just smart basketball plays on the last couple of possessions. And that's something that, without Brandon Schwebke in the starting lineup, that this starting 5 really needs. Needs that scrappy hustle player that Schwebke was last year. Perhaps that's going to be Ackerman's role on this team. And what an unselfish way to do it. In his senior season, take a cut back on his points per game, get some more assists, get some more hustle. And just a great job by Brian Ackerman here on this last couple of possessions. Ricky Jackson for three, near corner, no good. Nixon was tied up with Coville, wanted a call but didn't get it. Coville ended up with the rebound, fresh 30 for Adrian. And a 30-second timeout will be taken by the Bulldogs. Mentioned some of the best seasons in Adrian Bulldog history have been recently. In 2012-2013, 18 wins was the most since the 1954-1955 season, and that's what the head coach Mark White has brought to this program at Adrian, although they've struggled the last couple of years with sub-500 records. The 2011-2012 and 2012-2013 seasons were some of their best, including they narrowly missed their first NCAA tournament appearance in school history. They had a chance to win the game in regulation, ended up going to overtime and losing in overtime to Hope College in 2012 after a 17-9 mark and a 9-5 mark in the conference. This season and off to a very good start at 5-1, but struggling with the Elmhurst Blue Jay defense here at R.A. Faginal Hall. 70-40, Elmhurst on top. Here's a long shot, and there's going to be a call here. Count the basket by Denham, and there's going to be a foul on the rebound. It's Schwebke's fourth foul. Adrian will have the ball out of bounds after the shot. Interesting call there. You don't see that every day, where the shot counts, you get a foul away from the ball. Rodock with Coleman all up in his grill. It's a screen, but Coleman goes right around it. Trying to drive Denham on Weist. Nowhere to go. Denham kick out to Jackson. Nice behind the back dribble, but he's double teamed, and Rodock has it with 7 to shoot. Rodock bounce pass to Jackson. Step back, lean away, 3. And it's tipped in by Coville. Nice athletic play by Christian Coville to get that one to go. He's got 9 points, one away from double digits. He scored in double digits in all 6 of Adrian's games so far this season, averaging 20.5 points per game. 6:20 to go. Blue Jays leading 70-44 as Schwebke fakes, and now to Brian Ackerman for 3. No good. Rebound by Coville. Ackerman's three-point shooting is what gets him the majority of his points, and he has struggled from the three-point line all season long. To the corner, and Rodock, who's open for 3. He misses, and Crowford is going to be called for a foul on the rebound. Two fouls on Isaiah Crowford. Eight team fouls on Adrian will send Kyle Weist to the line, and that's exactly who you don't want at the line if you're Adrian. Kyle Weist, 87% on the season coming into today, and 2 of 2 from the line so far this evening. Under 6 minutes to play, Elmhurst well out in front, 70-44. Best defensive showing for the Blue Jays so far this season, at least since the Westminster game, as Weist knocks down the first free throw. 14 points for him, but that's second on the Blue Jays to Eric Crittenden, 16. Taking some time before Weist gets the ball. He has it in his hands, spinning it, shimmying the shoulders to loosen up before delivering the second free throw, which is very smooth, and Elmhurst leads 72-44. Adrian inbound, shooting at the left basket with under 6 minutes to play. It's last year's starting 5 on the floor for the Blue Jays. As all the way into the lane goes Harris, up and under, move, tough shot, no good. Coleman now with the rebound. Bounce pass to Nixon, who tried to get it to Weist. It was tipped out, however. That ball definitely changed direction, whether that was somebody hitting Will Nixon's hand or somebody hitting the ball. And his ball out to Elmhurst as Coleman is open for 3 at the top of the key, and he's way off the mark. Schwebke, that's 5, I believe, on him. If I have it right, that should be 5 on Schwebke. Crittenden's going to come back in. And yes, that is indeed 5 on Brandon Schwebke. So interestingly, he fouls out of this game. Not something you would expect from Schwebke, but with 5:35 to go, he will sit. Eric Crittenden comes back in, and now it is the starting five on the floor for the Blue Jays. Coleman, Wiest, Crittenden, Ackerman, and Nixon. Rodak down low to Henry. Spin move on Nixon, who gets blocked, but there's going to be a push and 2 shots. Nixon almost had his 4th block of the game. He leads the conference in blocks so far this season. 14 blocks coming into the game. I believe he has 4 today. I'm going to check to be sure, but that would make 18 on the season. Nixon only credited with 2, although I could argue that he could have 4. That one took about 5 or 6 bounces on the rim, and Ken Henry got it to go for his first point of the game. Nixon will head out, and Kenny Payonk checks in for the Blue Jays. Henry's first shots of the day, and that one he banks in the free throw. Anyway, it goes in, it counts. I don't know if that's what he was looking for as he shakes his head, but he'll take it. 72-46, Elmhurst on top here with 5 minutes to go in the game. Ackerman with the floater, and he gets it to go. Sometimes it just takes a couple of shots to go for a shooter to get hot. That's Brian Ackerman. He can definitely be hot. He was the key last year when the Blue Jays had 2 late game situations. That's who they went to, and he converted on both occasions, hitting a 3 against North Central to tie the game and send it to overtime, and hitting a 2 with 5 seconds left against Augustana to send that game into overtime as well. Henry slipped on the floor, and he traveled. And it'll be a turnover for the Blue Jays as Elmhurst fans having a little bit of fun at Ken Henry's expense. Harlan comes back in along with Peyton Wyatt as Wiest and Ackerman will sit. Under 5 minutes to play, Blue Jays leading 74-46. Wyatt needs some help in the backcourt, finds Harlan in the front court. Skip pass to Coleman, and now back to Harlan between the circles. Want to get the ball to Payonk down low, and they do at the elbows, and the pass goes deep for Wyatt. Far corner, and he hits the 3. 4 threes today for Peyton Wyatt. He has 12 points. Crossover dribble, a nice one by Denham, but he has forced back out by Coleman, who came back defensively. Really been impressed by Pat Coleman's defense in this game. Perhaps something he was not known for before, but what a nice job he's done today, and I think that could be something he's added to his game. Nice pass that time from Denham around Payonk, and he finds a streaking Armand Harp, who is in the scorebook with his first 2 points. And it is now a 29-point Elmhurst lead, 77-48. Coleman finds Crittenden, and Adrian will get back defensively. 3:40 to go. Blue Jays in control here at R.A. Fagnall Hall. Coleman finds Harlan on the far wing. Now Crittenden from the free throw line, off the front iron, back iron. Payonk had the rebound, tried to put it up, and got fouled on the way up. It's going to be Ben Rodak's 3rd foul and the 9th on Adrian. And that'll send Kenny Payonk to the free throw line for the 5th time this season. Perhaps it's time to check out ahead on the Blue Jays schedule as Elmhurst in control, leading by 30 with Payonk's first free throw. It is good. 7 points for Kenny Payonk. Blue Jays will continue on with their hosting of almost half the MIAA after defeating Alma and Eric Crittenden's tip-in on Sunday. They host Adrian. Payonk's second free throw is no good, and Rodak pulls down the board. After this almost seemingly sure victory, leading by 30 with 3:20 to go. Here's a 3 by Denham that's off the mark, but the rebound by Harp keeps it alive for a fresh 30. Nathan Rogers, Chris Perilli, and Caleb Mowry have checked in for the first time for the Blue Jays. And John Bain starting to empty the bench here. Out to Rodak. And here's a pass. Foot on the line by Harp, no good. Pulling down the board is Crowford, and he stepped out of bounds with it. Excuse me, that's not Crowford, that's Anton Horton. And now Pavlos Marakis will come in, the man from Greece, is into the game for the first time. And Bryant is back in for the Bulldogs as well. So really a third unit team for the Blue Jays as they empty the bench. Perilli, Rogers, Mowry, Maracas, and Harlan. Caleb Mowry at the free throw line gets stripped by Denham, who is out and running and will get the layup to go. Steal and score by Jordan Denham, who now has 4 points, and Elmhurst still leads by 28 here with 2:30 to go in regulation. Caleb Mowry will pull up, and he will miss just a little too strong. And the rebound is pulled down by Hart. He will bring the ball all the way up the floor, look for a quick shot. But they'll bring it out to Jordan Denham. Pass intended for Crowford. Instead picked off. Here's Perilli all the way down the floor. Misses too strong. Maracas gets the rebound. And the over the back no-look pass to Mowry, but now he's double-teamed. And they'll swirl the ball around the floor. Here's Maracas backing down. Tries to find Rogers, but it's a turnover as Crowford's long arms got in the way. Under 2 minutes to play. Blue Jays leading 78-50. And really the key to come out of this game, yes, they shot lights out in the first half, but it's the defense. Because they shot well against Alma too, did the Blue Jays. Not as well as this game, but the defense was not as good as they gave up 69 points to the Fighting Scots, who are a very good, scrappy, and really small, scrappy team. They've been able to really take over against the Bulldogs, and it'll be a sub in for the Blue Jays. Blue Jays will take a timeout. It's a substitution timeout. Morten Mueller's into the game, the man from Germany. And now both international players on the Blue Jay roster have checked in. Mueller, the 6'9", 220-pound sophomore from Cologne, Germany, second year with the program. And then Maracas, 6'7", 215, he's a freshman, first year in the program, as there's a foul on the far side by Bryant, his first, and the team's 10th, which will put Tucker Harlan at the free throw line. Harlan, the only man on the floor who is in the regular Blue Jay rotation, as I suppose you call him the 11th man. As his free throw is up and good. Put Harlan in the score sheet. 10 Blue Jays have scored so far in this game, make it 2 for Harlan, and a 30-point Elmhurst lead with 1 minute to go. So let's look ahead of the schedule. Elmhurst will face Albion on Saturday and then Olivet next Wednesday to wrap up their MIAA appearances this season. That's 4 in a row against the MIAA. So far 2-0 with the win here today. Jumper on the far baseline, no good, but the tip by Crowford just misses. And Chris Perilli tips away the rebound. He's out and running. Perilli to the basket, and he is fouled on the way up. Good hustle by Chris Perilli to tip that out, knowing that he had a head of steam and could get to the bar. Get to the ball before the defense could, and with under 40 seconds to play, Perilli will go to the line. First free throw is up and good for Chris Perilli. 11 Blue Jays in the scorebook. Perilli wears number 30. He is a 6'2", 180-pound sophomore from Geneva. And he gets to the second one to go. It rolled around for what seemed like an eternity and eventually went down for Perilli. Ticking down to the final 35 seconds, as we mentioned. Next game against Albion on Saturday, 4 o'clock. That'll be on Blue Jay TV. And I'll be on the call for that one, and it'll be another interesting game with the MIAA. That's the team that the Blue Jays lost to, the only non-conference loss they had last season, as everybody will give the Blue Jays a standing O today. Elmhurst goes out on top. They will win this one by a score of 82-50, and the defensive effort was so good from the Blue Jays today. And that's really going to be the key going forward for this team. They got plenty of players that can score. That's apparent. But the ability to play defense is going to be so crucial come the CCIW schedule, as all I do is win. Plays in the background, 82-50 the final score. Let's go through some final stats here on this game. And really, when you look at this game, you look at the defense, and you look at the fact that the Blue Jays held this Adrian Bulldogs team that was shooting 46% for the season to just 31% in the game. From three-point range, they shot 37% on the season, and the Blue Jays today limited them to just 6 of 23 from downtown. And the fact that the Blue Jays went to the free throw stripe on 22 occasions to Adrian's 4. As Elmhurst shot 50% from the field, 44% from downtown, and 19 of 22 from the free throw line. Rebounds, Elmhurst really dominated in that second half. They grabbed 11 offensive rebounds in the second half, 42 rebounds to 29, a 13 advantage with that. That's against the team in Adrian that had a plus 10 rebounding margin coming into this game. It just shows what kind of prowess the Blue Jays can have and in rebounding. And really, you got to imagine the key. Eric Crittenden in that 4 spot was such a tough mismatch for Adrian today, as Eric Crittenden had a team-high 16 points and a team-high 9 rebounds. As the other statistics leaders, Kyle Wiest had 15 points, Devontae Harris had 13 to lead. The only player in double digits for Adrian today at 13 points. As for rebounds, Christian Coville had 9, and that was right along his average of 8.7 rebounds per game. As for blocks, Will Nixon with 2. Assists, Pat Coleman had 4, and Kenny Payonk had 3, while Jordan Denham led the way for Adrian with 3. As for steals, Pat Coleman with 2, and really it was a great game all around for the Blue Jays as 11. Make that 12 with Chris Burley, Blue Jays score in the game, and that leads to an 82-50 victory. I'd like to thank my good friend Dennis over here on the left for doing a great job with the camera operating and the technical directing. I'm Luke Tanaka saying so long from RA Faginal Hall. Blue Jays come out on top, 82-50.